Hello. So today I'm going to look to talk you through a little bit of what's been going on over the last week and some of my training. I mentioned in the last video that I would talk to you a bit about my programming as well. So to cover that off, first of all, I follow Kriger programming, which is kind of founded and run by Kristen Holte and her coach. I'm going to go into more detail about what it is that I like about their programming in my next video and a bit more information about it, but put it this way, I've followed a number of programs for a number of years in different ways, shapes and forms, and this is the one that's probably worked the best for me. What I'm going to touch on just now is kind of how my training is going to start for the rest of the year. Now, I'll talk about it in more detail when I go over what Kriger actually offer as a program and why I think it's good and why I think people should consider it as an option. But basically, to get you set up for your training, you do an athlete profile test. I'm not going to go through all the tests that are on there. If you want to, you need to go and buy it. But you go through an athlete profile test. What I'm going to do, I'm going to shift this video into the bottom left-hand corner, and then I'm going to talk through what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and give you a bit of information around kind of how these things go together. So at that point, if you see me looking away, it's just because I'm following on the timeline on my computer to see where I am and what it is that I need to be talking about. So first thing here was a strict handstand push-up test. This has been one of the things that I've struggled with the most for a long time. As you can see here, I only get 2 reps. Now, silly as it sounds, that's a 100% improvement on last year. I only got 1, but I've always struggled with these. The follow-up to that was then some strict handstand push-ups to a surplus to try and help build that volume and get that little bit of extra control and strength into my shoulders. The piece that follows this was a big cardiovascular piece. Now what we were doing on this was basically like an EMOM and working 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Did it for 15 minutes, then took a rest, and then did the same for 15 minutes again. This first one was thrusters, bar face burpees, and then onto some chest to bar pull-ups. It got really sweaty. Over here in Scotland, the temperature certainly changed over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, it's a shock to the system when you're used to the cold weather. But worked my way through this one. It got really, like I say, it got pretty sweaty pretty quickly. My goals on it were pretty simple. I wanted to try and push my burpees. I wanted to make sure my chest to bars were unbroken. I wasn't really worried about the thrusters because I can do them pretty well. When we got into the second part, one of my problems has been my snatches and sort of cycling the bar on them. So I've made it a conscious effort this year that I want to improve my barbell cycling and make sure that I try to, when I get the opportunity, try to kind of increase my output on that, even if it means I have to lower my output elsewhere. Then followed up with some toes to bar here, and then it was on to some double unders. Again, something that I've struggled with is my double unders, my shoulders burning out on them. So I recently bought a set of Velite's ropes. It's not actually the rope that I've got here, but they come with kind of similar handle to this. The ropes are a wee bit heavier and you can change the ropes really easily. So a chance for me to build up some of that extra shoulder strength and that sort of endurance with it to keep me going a wee bit better when it comes up in workouts in the future. This next little piece, I'd watched a video by a guy called Peter McKinnon. He said try filming things from different angles. I think it looks quite cool, but this was me trying to do something a wee bit different. Again, this is back to that athlete profile test. It was a max set of chest to bar pull-ups. Now I've got a wee cut on my hand just now, which you might be able to see, which when I was doing this was pretty painful, so it's probably not my best effort, but again, I think I got somewhere around about 12, maybe 13, 14 reps. Last year I was only getting 8 reps on chest to bar max effort, so I'm pretty happy with that again. The bit that came following this was some clean and jerks. I'm a wee bit behind on the program here, so I started a wee bit lighter and then built up towards my workout weight towards the end of the sets. I also did, my weight was 107.5, so that's 27.5 kilo lift in my weight in about 8 months since the last time that I did it, so really pleased with that. Then finished off with one of the things that I think Kriger do very well. So it was a long workout, it was over 30 minutes for the workout, but the way they put it together is you do 6 minutes of work, rest, 5, rest, 4, 3, 2, 1. The rest always stays the same, but the amount of time that you're working decreases as you go. The movements change within it, but it's all similar types of movement. So it's all things that are hitting rough with the same sort of stimulus throughout. But your time domain drops, you're not working for as long, or you're doing something slightly different, so it's a good chance that you can keep that up. And because obviously the time window is dropping but the rest staying consistent, it gives you that chance to really push the pace towards the end of it. Because this is one of the things, I see this quite a lot coming up in their programming, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it's an absolutely brilliant way of approaching this type of training. So that is basically it. That is what I've been doing over the last kind of week or so. Like I say, the whole point of this period is we do the profile test. Like I said, I'm going to talk more in the next video about why it is that I've decided to go with Kriger and what it is that I like about their training and why I feel it works better for me. This was just to give you a review of, look, when you sign up for this, or when I get to this stage, there's always this retest window. This kind of like, draw your line in the sand, where are you at, what have you got to work on? I'm really excited to have a sit down chat with them, because again, that's something else that they offer that you can get if you're willing to pay for it. But it will give me a chance to say to them, okay, had a year's training, I've had 8 months with you, that'll be explained in the next video as well. I've had 8 months with you, here's where my open scores were, here's where my quarterfinal scores were, I'm going up an age category next year, what have I got to work on to get the most out of it? So that's the video for today. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not already, I would really appreciate it, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.